Hey everybody, Dave Womack here with the PrepperProject.com. Now today we're going to talk a little bit about your long-term gas storage. And in my mind there's really only one way that you can go. Well, two, but one safe way that you can go. The first way is you could buy one of these very inexpensive and very terrible gas storage devices. They expand incredibly if it's in heat. They start to get really big and they leak everywhere. And I don't have to tell you this, if you've ever used one of these because you're on the side of the road and you need to fill up your car, you end up smelling like gas, and nobody wants that. This is a terrible, terrible method. However, my favorite method, in fact probably the best method out there, is if you don't have access to a 1,000 or 500 gallon tank, pick yourself up several of these. Now, I got this from one of my favorite places to shop, the Vermont Army-Navy store. They have so much stuff and a huge selection of all of this, a good inventory, most importantly to me, a great customer service team. Now this product is one of the highest quality products. It's actually made in Belgium. It has a 20-liter capacity and it's great for long-term storage. Now, what is long-term storage all about for your gas? Well, you can't just fill this up and expect it to be great. In fact, gasoline degrades over time. Some experts say that in as little as 30 days, gas starts to lose all of its amazing properties that make it run so well and power all the things in our lives. So, with that being said, there's a couple of options you can do. You want to first fill this up to only 95% of the way. That's where this line is, right above the 20-liter mark. And that's going to prevent it from overflowing at all. It's going to make it to a safe level. It's also going to allow it to expand and contract as the temperature changes. Now, when you fill it with gas, you also want to get yourself a gas stabilizer. This additive is called Sta-Bil. It's available from Walmart all the way up to some of your higher end stores. It's a great product, and I've actually put this in gasoline that I've stored for well over a year, put it in my vehicle, and the vehicle started right up. So I would take gas that lasts a year versus 30 days, absolutely, especially in any emergency situation. If you have hurricanes coming, but you never know when, as if you don't have a week to know, it's important to run out and grab yourself a nice 20-liter gas can from Vermont Army-Navy, as well as some stabilizer. Fill it up, keep it on hand, but most importantly, store it in a place where it's away from heat, it's away from any sources of fire. You don't want to put this next to your hot water heater if it runs off of propane, because there's a live, there's fire in there. All right, so really be smart about how you decide to store your fuel, but most importantly, this becomes, although it's cheaper up front, this becomes a hazard. Now, how awful would it be if you start storing up all your fuel and as the weather changes and your tank heats and expands and it starts leaking, it starts a fire and you lose everything. All right? With this, it seals incredibly well. Check this out. If you look right where the nozzle goes, there's actually a lock on here. You have to pull the lock out, little pin. Then you can open it up and pop it back, and it is sealed incredibly, incredibly well. Then you have your extra valve here. It goes on right like that and just gets pressed right into place. It's virtually leak-proof, and the favorite thing for me is that I can actually store this in my vehicle. If I'm going to go on a trip across the country or I don't know where I'm necessarily going, I can keep it in there. If it falls over, it's not going to leak. Or if this fell over because I hit a bump or I went off-road, it'd be a nasty, stinky mess. And having kids in the car or pets in the car, you don't want that. So make sure you give this a lot of thought and go through and do it properly the first time. I've always told everybody, whenever you cheap out, you end up spending more money in the end. So do it right. Buy yourself a really nice metal gas can, maybe once a month, once every couple of months. Keep them full and add your stable fuel additive. Now, one other tip that I like to add to this is to make sure that you label each and every one of your cans. It's terribly important that you go to use this in the right time. Now, I have a little label maker, so this actually will just say, used by November 2013. But just stick that someplace where it's easy to see and mark the date that it has to be used by. And be very clear, put 91 octane, used by November 1st, 2013, 2014, 2015, whatever year you end up putting it in, add a year, and then rotate through your gas. You don't want to have 500 gallons of gasoline on hand that all goes bad. It's important that you're constantly cycling through that. So about once a month, I'll take some of my stored fuel, I'll put it in my vehicle, and then I'll take that vehicle down to the gas station, I'll fill those tanks back up, I'll add my fuel stabilizer and treat the gas, put it back on the shelf, and it's good for another year. And so depending on how much fuel you keep on hand, it's very important to do that. But again, do it right. Check out my friends over at Vermont Army-Navy. You are going to love this product, I promise.